Hi folks, it's Chet from Tag Along with Chet. Well, you've probably already seen vlog number 350 and 351, and those were the ones where Ben and I ended up going to Oshkosh, actually with the diversion to Virden. However, I fortunately ran into some other additional footage which were taken by my wife when we left, so I thought I'd start more or less from the beginning, and you can fill in the rest of the blanks from vlog 350 and 351. So there may be a little bit of a repeat in here, but anyway, here it goes. So as most of you probably know, I've flown into Oshkosh plenty of times, as is evident from some of my vlogs. And I've done this for over the past 30 years, whether it's from the Toronto area, Vancouver, or the Calgary area. It just depended wherever I was based. And this time, for the first time, actually, it would be with my grandson, Ben. And judging by his skills, he must be a natural-born pilot, because what he's doing now is something which amazes me. It probably took me years to learn. He's also, by the way, my IT guy, because he knows a lot about computers, so it comes in real handy. So anyway, he's pretty interested in this flying thing. So after about a 2 years wait in the issuing of his passport, and some of it was as a result of and the rest of it was basically the Canadian government's bureaucratic aftermath. So it took 2 years before he actually got his passport. So he finally got it in the beginning of July 2023. Now, I've done the arrival into Oshkosh many a times, the NOTAM one, where you all pile into a big crowd and head off and land on a dot and all this sort of stuff, but get a little old for that. So I thought having Ben with me, it'd be a little bit more to my liking to arrive early. And early we did arrive. So when normally the arrival procedure comes into effect noon Thursday, which is, I think, for the last 2 years it's happened that way, and then it continues on for the duration of the air show, or for the show. But when I arrived, it was just a normal tower-controlled airport, as you probably saw in, I think it was vlog 351. So this vlog will be mainly about the trip itself, with my only grandson enjoying his first time out of the province of Alberta, and the first time in the United States. It's got nothing to do with the air show itself. I didn't take movies of, well, I took movies of certain things at the air show, but nothing to do with airplanes really, other than a few minor little things which you might see in this vlog as well, if I elect to put them in. So we'll start at the beginning of the trip, day one, you might say, which was on July the 17th. And that departure date was on a Monday, or basically 1 week prior to the start of the show. The weather in Vulcan, which obviously was our departure airport, was fine. No problems at all. It was VFR. However, I knew from the previous day that we would run into deteriorating conditions, and that was mainly as a result of smoke. And on the Sunday we had lots of smoke, so that all that stuff was moving east, and obviously we had to fly through it at some point. So our fuel stop was Weyburn, Saskatchewan, and it was kind of touchy just even getting into Weyburn, but we got there, and then after Weyburn, we headed out towards the border of Piney Pine Creek. Now, it did get to a point where it became very questionable on the VFR, so it was verging on IFR, and you know, so I elected to divert, and we diverted en route. Now, if you went north, the weather improved quite a bit, and we diverted to Virden, as you will see, and obviously saw in vlog number 350. Virden was a good airport to divert to, and it became quite an enjoyable overnight. in the terminal building. We actually stayed in the terminal building. I got the couch, and Ben ended up on the lazy boy chair, which he actually wanted. When we arrived, well, we hadn't eaten yet, so we ordered a Boston pizza, which was ready in about 30 minutes, and they delivered it right to the airport. They had free Wi-Fi, so that was very good. And they had a very accommodating staff. And thing to note is it was about the cheapest en route fuel we had, and it was priced at $2.05 a liter. That's Canadian funds. Day 2, we awoke to the remnants of a weather system which had passed during the night. And rain and restricted visibility and fog is what we woke up to. But around 9 o'clock, things started to improve. So we went with the knowledge that we could possibly run into the same weather system while en route to the border crossing. And we did. However, we'd planned on en route options, but we didn't need them. And we did make it to the border crossing, as you saw in vlog 350 or 351. So we had a very enjoyable experience with the USA customs officer, and then a quick refuel at Piney. And then we were off for a non-stop, and this is the first time I've done it. And the reason why I could do it this time is because I had purchased a fuel flow indication in my aircraft instead of the little flickering needles, and it was very accurate. It was within maybe a couple of liters, so I was quite happy with it. And so the trip turned out to be 4 hours and 13 minutes, and I still had 13.1 gallons US of fuel left when we arrived in Oshkosh. And that tallied because the uplift I had when I left Oshkosh was 37 gallons. So that made for a total of 50. So, and that was full tanks. So after we landed, like I said again, it was a normal airport landing with a tower-controlled airport. We taxied off the grass. I was met by a EAA volunteer on a scooter who directed us to our parking spot and where we were going to park the aircraft and camp. So we got out of the airplane and it was hot. My t-shirt was just drenched, but we had to tie the airplane down and of course set up the tent and all this type of thing. So so we did that, obviously making us even more clammy. So after that task was completed, we elected to head off and have some supper. Now, normally in Oshkosh, when the show is on, maybe starting on Thursday, Friday, they open up what's known as a hole in the fence, which is gate 40, which is now actually locked, and so is the one there by the Super 8 Motel. It's also locked. So the only way you can get out of the airport, since you're on the air side, is go through the lobby of the Hilton Hotel, which is way on the other side of the field, and we didn't feel like walking that. So we managed to squeeze underneath the fence, would you believe? We found this area where there was a bit of a creek running underneath it, and yeah, we managed to get there during the few days that the gate was still locked. So that's how we got in and how we got out. So so from the exit of the airport, we ended up at Hardee's, which is a great little place to go for fast food, and they've got quite a good menu for both breakfasts and suppers and lunches and whatever you want, and it's very reasonable. So and Ben elected to have a bacon cheese thick burger, I think it was called, and I ended up with just a normal regular roast beef sandwich. And we had many refillable drinks, cold drinks. I had numerous cups of tea, iced tea, and Ben had a lot of soft drinks. Okay, so from this point on, we'll just call it from the 19th of July to the 27th of July, there was numerous things that we did. One thing you have to know about Oshkosh and its weather. It's notorious for some pretty severe thunderstorms. And during our stay there, we ended up with 3 of them, and one being at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Attention, all EAers. We have a strong storm coming in between 6:30 and 6:45 with a lot of lightning expected, so please stay inside if possible. Thank you.
Fortunately, we were able to stay dry. We had no problems with the tent at all. Our stay was pretty routine, pretty well the same every day. Breakfast at Hardee's, lunch on the field, and supper back at Hardee's. Now, just a quick note, and this is no reflection on the show itself, but if you're going to eat on the field, the on-site food prices are way out of line, the way I look at it anyway, especially for the companies such as A&W and Subway. Just to give you an example, A&W, they have their own Oshkosh menu. I mean, what they sell on the field, you usually can't get at a normal A&W. But $8 for a hot dog, $5 for a soft drink. So for the 2 of us, it came to a whopping $35, taking into account the exchange rate. 2 hot dogs, 2 soft drinks, $35 Canadian. So needless to say, we only did that once. Now, the EAA has 7 different locations, and it's known as the EAA Red Barn. Now, we elected to have lunch there, and the lunch there was very reasonable. We normally would buy a half a gallon of chocolate milk, which was $5 US, and then a sandwich for $3 US. Now you could get roast beef or ham and cheese, or chicken, whatever. And so that came to with the exchange rate, came to $14.75 for lunch for the 2 of us. So that was very reasonable. The total attendance of Oshkosh during the week was 677,000, and I was very surprised that the washroom facilities were not at all busy. Now, we made use of them for our shower, either in the late afternoon or in the early evening. And I'll bet you I didn't see more than 6, 7 people in the main shower area. And then they have separate shower stalls as well on the same building. And most of those were open. So anyway, I was quite pleased to see that. So they've done a lot of improvement as far as the facilities are concerned. Some of the areas we visited while we were there were the ultralight field located near the south end of the airport. And the museum was another full day of viewing everything from the beginning of flight to a World War II aircraft. And it's a great place to go, especially when it's hot out, because it's air conditioned. And they have a nice store there as well. One of the biggest highlights, I think, for Ben was he managed to familiarize himself in a $48,000 Cirrus full motion simulator. And to my surprise, he took to it like he'd flown one prior. I had no clue what he was doing, especially when looking at that glass cockpit. And he even managed a landing. I kind of look back at the time when I was in system training, on the system training course for the Boeing 747-200, and I was given a chance to land our simulator. That's our 747 simulator in, mind you, less than ideal weather conditions, doing the checkerboard approach at Kai Tak, the old Hong Kong airport. And I landed it so hard that the gear probably went up through the belly and the wings, because I think the simulator went to a reset mode. Anyway, Ben came out of the simulator beaming with delight, and needless to say, he had no problems for most of the return trip, even in some of the inclement weather we encountered. Now, we flew the return trip also via the Piney Creek Airport for Canadian Customs clearance. Now, the return trip was on the 20th. It was on a Friday. I can't remember what date it was, but we ended up going via, I believe it was Braden, Minnesota. But just to let you know what the departure is like out of Oshkosh, this is a shot of what it was like on the Thursday. And it must have taken anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to get airborne. Just one mass of aircraft all trying to get out at the same time. And this is what it looked like the next day when we left.
Central Aircraft, Oshkosh departure information Delta, current 12135 Zulu, wind variable at 3, visibility 10, sky conditions clear, temperature 23, dew point 19er, altimeter 299er7. Runway 9 and runway 36 left in use. VFR departures follow the direction of the EEA flagman to the departure runway. Do not call ground control for taxi. VFR aircraft departing runway 9, monitor FAA controllers on frequency 128.75 for departure instructions. VFR aircraft departing runway 36 left, monitor FAA controllers on frequency 118.9 for departure instructions. IFR aircraft with departure reservations, contact clearance delivery frequency 119.05 for clearance and approval for engine start no earlier than 30 minutes prior to estimated time of departure. Do not start taxi without approval. Ensure an IFR card is placed in the windshield before taxi.
We're 31386 on the right side up to runway 9 on the number there. Right side, line up and wait. We're 1912 Lima, left side, runway 9, or line up and wait. 12 Lima, Lima left side. Charlie Fox, Juliet, November uniform, up to the flagman to hold short, please.
You want me to close the door?
Just a second.
Continue holding there, both of you on 9. We're going to have an aircraft cross down there. Nobody's on final. Three 1386, runway 9, clear for takeoff.
Okay, close the door.
Juliet, November uniform, right side, on the right side, 9er, line up and wait.
Closed. Okay.
For 12 Lima, runway 9, clear for takeoff.
Hey.
Cherokee on the south side of 9, you on the frequency. Low wing on the south side of 9, you on the frequency.
Roger.
Low wing 9, clear for takeoff.
Roger.
Twin on the south side of 9, you on the frequency.
Ready?
Alright, 2 Delta Mike,
Yep.
line up and wait.
Okay. What's the time?
Alright, let me know when you're ready. Twin, south side of 9, you on the frequency? Hey, affirmative. Twin, runway 9, line up and wait. Oh, we still got to do a run up. Alright, Twin, let me know. Two Delta Mike, ready. 2 Delta Mike, 9, runway 9, clear for takeoff.
As you'll see, it's 100% different. Now, mind you, we were very fortunate that we left about 9:15, and we used runway 09, which became the active runway for departures. This is the first time I've ever used 09 because when you take off on 09, you head right over Lake Winnebago, and it's actually a better departure. Either runway 27 or 09 is good for me. The long one, 1836, I believe it is a real pain because you're usually heading down on 18, and it's a heck of a detour to get back going either northbound or westbound. So anyway, as you'll see, we had a very nice departure.
You want me to put it on there for you?
Yeah,
go ahead. Okay, done. This one behind us is still going. It's still going. Good.
Can you give us the radio code for Milwaukee? Force Air Golf 127.0 and the VTOL Bonanza coming around Bravo 1. Just follow the all the way up to the runway next to the pink shirt and hold. If you're on the south side of 9, the Skyhawk, or Skylane, you on the frequency? 9 Alpha Juliet. Thank you. Texan runway 9, clear for takeoff. The Cessna on the south side.
Well, that was a nice departure. Huh? What? There's hardly any, oh, yeah.
Blue Highway runway 9, clear for takeoff.
Okay, what's the check sheet say there for? Cruise. Flaps up. Yeah. Fuel pump off. Yep. Throttle 55 to 75% power. Yeah, I'm working on it. Mixture leaned as desired. Yeah. Trim set. Yep. Lights as required. Yep. Fuel balance monitor. Check. Lots of water here, right? Yeah. Okay. We can get rid of all this now. Let's see, what are we gonna look at here? 118,625.
0, altimeter 2, 9er, 8, remark. Density altitude 1,000, 9er, 100. Runways 10 and 28 are right traffic. Wapaka Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation. 142. 1 Zulu weather. Wind 340 at 5. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 23 Celsius. Dew point 20. Altimeter 29er 8. Remarks. Density altitude 1,900. Runways 10 and 28 are right traffic.
Does he look like a pilot? No? Jesus. Let's see. Well, the temperatures are sure holding up. Alrighty.
minutes en route, is that correct? 1 hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah, that would be good.
Alright, well, Charlie November, if you can get a hold of the center to get that squawk code, give me a call back when you get a little closer and we'll coordinate that squawk code for you.
Appreciate it, and could you go ahead the Minneapolis Center frequency there?
Alright, November, Charlie November, for Minneapolis Center, where you are right now for Brainerd, is 118.05, 118.05.
118.05. Okay, I'll give them a try, and if I can't get a hold of them, I'll get back to you.
Maintain 7,000, park
Rapids altimeter 3008, and there is moderate heavy precipitation, 12 o'clock, and 30 miles, 10 miles in diameter. Beyond that is an area of moderate heavy precipitation, 12 o'clock, 50 miles, and extends all the way to Park Rapids.
Roger that, descend maintain 7,000. Etc. 673.
Minneapolis Center, it's Canadian Civil, Charlie Fox, Charlie November.
What's that? Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie November. What's for flight following?
Yeah, it's Charlie Fox, Charlie November. We're in a VFR flight plan to Piney Pine Creek in Manitoba for border crossing. I'd like to request a discrete transponder code. We have the APIS filed.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie November, 2476.
2476, Charlie November. That's looking good. Looks like we're going to be out of it. You can see this.
And November 5267 Echo clear to the Pine River Airport via direct Ovestia file across Ovestia at or above 4,000 clear at RNAV runway 34 approach.
I did not want to go that.
67 Echo. We're cleared to the UDNEF intersection.
And arriving in Braden, Minnesota. That was a good airport. And from there we headed up to Piney and cleared customs. Again, met by some very good and enjoyable border crossing with the Canadian Border Customs people. And then from there on, we headed up to Virden, which, like I said, is another good stop because that's where we stopped on the way over, and it was great. Well, folks, that was the trip. And all in all, it was a great trip. We had our weather challenges and other issues. However, it turned out to be a trip of a lifetime, and that was for both of us. Both Ben and I enjoyed it very much. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one. So long for now.